Hi, my name is Kevin Taylor. Today we're going to be exposing the lies from the Millennium Development Authority. This is the Friday editorial. So with all due respect, my fellow Ghanaians, I would like to say something before I start today's show. Focus. Focus and don't be distracted. I'm saying this because some media houses in Ghana and some media personalities have made it a point to make sure that they throw so much dust into the people's eyes to the point that they'll even get confused about this historic scandal that has hit Ghana. I'm talking about the PDS scandal. People like Kwame Sifakain, he has shares in PDS. His consort, Kwame Sifakain consort, the KSK consort, has had dealings with PDS. I would like Kwame Sifakain to come out and tell Ghanaians that he has no connection to PDS. So people like that, when they speak on this issue, they have so much conflict of interest and that you don't have to take them serious. A station like Multimedia is like a baby which is constipated. They can't tell you they are constipated, but whenever you try to help them, they want to act like they are smart to go around it. These people are ignorant and they are trying their best to protect or shield people like Ayensu and those clowns who come to sit on those TV stations every Saturday and other days to explain things to Ghanaians. They are full of lies. Ghanaians, be focused. Let's chase the money and chase the last cent. What we are doing here is our public service. We're trying to make sure that the criminals in our system are kicked out. We are trying to make sure our country is saved from corrupt politicians who have come together to milk us at this crucial hour. I know people are so worried and people are asking questions about the pictures behind me. It is so weird that in Ghana today, you can't even put a picture of a chief you admire on your show. This man I really admire. That's why he's on my show today. No malice. He's a great person and he's a smart man. So if you see his picture on my show, it's because I admire him and I love him. What I want to say, producer, can you put this guy's picture here so that we start the issue today? Today, we'll be doing a lot of reading. In fact, my English is not the best like Nana Addo Dankwa. It's not the best like Akufo-Addo. So if I bar, you have to understand. So I'm very good at tree, but with English, we try our best to make everybody understand. So if I bar, just allow it, you know. Today, we'll be talking about MEDA, the conspiracy between MEDA, the CEO of MEDA, his son Benjamin, the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, the Justice Department, and the Attorney General, and the Energy Minister, how they came together to make sure that this deal was skewed in their favor. This deal was skewed to favor the President, Akufo-Addo. This deal was skewed to favor people like Gabriel Tredakon, Philip Ayensu. This deal was skewed to favor somebody like Bamti, Edward Akufo-Addo, who is the only brother of the President. Today, I'm going to expose the rot, and I'm going to tell Ghanaians how MEDA shot themselves in the foot. You know, in a rush to come out to explain to Ghanaians that what we are saying is the truth, they brought out a statement. Yes, the statement on recent publications on the ECG PSP concession. This publication was made available on the 8th of August 2019. This is a full statement from MEDA. I'm going to break it down for Ghanaians to understand. I'm going to read, explain the details, and punch holes for Ghanaians to know that MEDA came together, conspired with this government to make sure they dupe us. There is so much lies in their statement. And today, I'm going to prove that to Ghanaians. Actually, I'm also going to show you a board meeting. That is the summary of the 23rd meeting of the Board of Directors of the Millennium Development Authority. This piece or this document was released on the 7th of March 2019. This document, I will speak about it before we end. This is the document that puts the final nail in the lying coffin of MEDA and this government. So I have two documents here. I have the statement on recent publication on ECG PSP concession, which is from MEDA. Yes, and I have another document here, which is also the summary of the 23rd meeting of the Board of Directors of the Millennium Development Authority, which was released on the 7th of March 2019. I'll be talking about these two documents. We're going to start with the statement on recent publications. When they say recent publications, we're talking about me, because they say some of the social media commentators are saying things which are not true. They never brought out a document to at least say that I was lying or not, but they came up with this lies. And I'm going to tell Ghanaians where they were lying. Now, when you go into the document, in the first page, let's start the reading. In the third paragraph, it says that operating under the oversight of the Office of the Government Machinery, in the Office of the President, MEDA, Governing Board has 11 voting members and 3 observers. It says the voting members are a chairperson and 6 ministers of state. That is the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, the Energy Minister, Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice, Gender, Children and Social Protection, Trade and Industry and Business Development. Now, there were other representatives too that were on the board. The representatives from the Association of Ghana Industries, that is AGI, Private Enterprises Federation, PEF, Ghana Association of Private Voluntary Organizations in Development, GAPVOD, that's the GAPVOD, and the CEO of MEDA, that is his son, Benjamin, are the other members with voting rights. Now, it goes on to say the observers were the board chairs of the Electricity Company of Ghana, that is Kelly Kajepo, the Volta River Authority, VRA, and the Resident Country Director of Millennium Challenge Corporation, MCC. Now, let's move on. The September 2015 ROI was followed by the publication of a request for qualification. Now, this activity requires the interested entities to present documents which confirm compliance with the qualification criteria outlined in the RFQ, the request for qualification. So it means that they were saying that these companies are supposed to go by this rule at this stage. Now, it says the qualification criteria comprise the legal, the financial, the technical and operational capabilities deemed essential to operate and manage distribution ability of the size and complexity of ECG. So basically what they were trying to say is before you come in, they are going to make sure they vet you on your legal background, on your financial background. Like you have to be financially sound as a company to get in there because ECG is a big entity. You can't just come there with 100 Ghana and 20 Ghana. You need to come in here with money. And you have to understand that the criteria was simple. They needed 60% financial strength and 40% technical know-how. So I just wanted to put this across. Now, after that, he said 11 companies submitted applications for pre-qualification. So the first one was the ROI, the request for expression of interest. They passed that stage from the 83 companies. It got all the way down to 11 companies at request for qualification. 11 companies. Now, MEDA is saying that after they got to this stage, that the RFQ, the 11 companies, they said they published the list of these 11 companies on their website. This is their statement, it's not my statement. I would like everyone to go on MEDA's website and check if those 11 companies were published there. This is what they are telling us. They said they published everything on their website on 30th August 2016 and are still available on the website. So I would like Ghanaians to do their own checks. Go on their website and check that if this was published on the 30th of August 2016. This is their own statement. And I am saying they are lying. They didn't publish anything. These 11 companies were hidden from us. They were going to tell us the companies when they break it down to 6 companies. But I would like to ask, why didn't they publish the 11 companies? Now let's move forward. In keeping with MEDA's commitment to transparency, the MEDA board constituted a 7-member panel of experts to evaluate the applications. The panel comprised representatives from ECG. The panel was made up of reps from ECG, Ministry of Finance, Energy Commission, Ministry of Petroleum, Ministry of Power, and 2 reps from the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice. So as you can see, it is basically a government panel. It is basically a government panel, all from government, all appointed by the President, Akufo-Addo. So you have to understand this, that MEDA actually handed over the process. They said they were the facilitators. They were supposed to make sure they sit and go through this themselves, do the due diligence. But what they did is they put together a 7-member committee, which were these committee members were elected by the President in their respective positions to handle this thing. Now, at the end of the evaluation exercise, the panel shortlisted 6 out of the 11 applicants. So this is where we get to know that out of the 83, it came to 11 at RFQ, which is the request for qualification. Remember the first one, the ROI. Then it moved to RFQ. These are rigorous steps companies have to go through before they go to the 6th. You go into the RFQ, and you have to remember that when you get to the RFQ, even before the 6 were picked, no foreign company can be put in after the ROI and RFQ. It is very important. No foreign company can be slotted in. Whatever we have here, whatever we will have here as the 6 companies are the companies that we have to pick from to join the local companies to be PDS. So at this point, no company should be slotted in. Let me give you the list of the 6 companies. The 6 companies were Manila, trailer in Manila. They were Manila, electric company. We had consortium of the CH Group, that is EDF. It's also a French company. BXC, you remember BXC is a Chinese company. They were in there, the 6. NG Service SA, they were also in there. NLSPA, and the Tata Power Company. So these were the 6 companies that made it. Out of the 83 to 11 to 6. These were the 6 official companies as foreign companies that made it through after the panel sat. The panel made up of government officials, the energy minister, the finance minister, the attorney general, the justice. These people said these 6 companies were the companies that made it. Now something happened. The 6 shortlisted applicants were subsequently issued the request for proposal. So they've moved from ROI, request for expression of interest, a rigorous step. They moved all the way there to request for qualification. That was also another rigorous step. Then they go to the RFP, then the request for proposal. That's 3 solid rigorous steps. And these companies have made it to this point. At this point, remember, there's no mention of Energia SC from Angola. No mention of that company. Automatically, that company does not fit anywhere here. Since I started talking, there's been no mention of Energia SA. Remember that. Now it says the 6 shortlisted applicants were subsequently issued a request for proposal document on August 30th, 2016. The RFP outlined the requirement of the tender instructions to the bidders, evaluation and selection process, draft transaction agreement, draft PURC tariff settings, guidelines, draft distribution license, and draft sales. So they gave them the criteria, what they are going to use to give them the deal. So this is the guidelines. On the same page, page 3, by the deadline for submission of proposal on March 26, 2018, MEDA received proposal from Meralco and BXC. So now they are receiving the proposals. We've got to the RFP. Everybody has to go and bring us the proposal, and that's where we are going to make our final decision. Now, it says that by the deadline for submission of proposal on March 26, 2018, MEDA received proposals from Meralco and BXC, the Chinese company. On the same day, the CH Group consortium, including EDF, which was part of the 6, and Viola submitted a letter withdrawing from the bidding process. Now, we have to understand that EDF is stepping out of the whole thing. They don't want to go on again. They are withdrawing. Now, earlier withdrawals included NLSPA on the 7th of October 2016. NL also withdrew. NG Service also withdrew on September 28, 2017. And the Tata Company Consortium on the 12th of February 2018 also withdrew. So it was left with just 2 companies. Now, it goes on to say that the finance minister, acting on behalf of government, constituted the proposal evaluation panel. Now, Ken Ofori-Atta is the one who picked a panel to make sure that they vet Meralco and BXC. Now, it goes on to say the panel was composed of technical, legal, and financial experts drawn from Ghana and abroad. As for the application submitted in response to the RFQ, that's the request for qualification, MEDA was not part of that panel. They made it clear. Now, by the end of the technical and financial evaluation, the Meralco-led consortium emerged as a preferred bidder. You know, Ken Ofori-Atta put together a panel, and at the end of the day, they said Meralco has won. Why? Because BXC consortium was disqualified because of their financial evaluation. Now, we have documents here. We have the documents Meralco presented and the documents BXC also presented. For what we know, the panel looked at the technical document. They opened the envelope, which was about the technical aspect of the 2 companies, their technical strength. And then that's it. They didn't move to the financial because they knew that technical, they will make Meralco look better. But when it comes to financial, Meralco could never beat BXC. It is clear. You know, and you have to understand, this whole thing was put together. We needed a company that had about 60% financial strength and 40% technical strength. Because of the interest of Ken Ofori-Atta and his friends, they knew that this BXC company Because BXC had worked with ECG before. Remember in my first exposure, I told you this BXC company from China gave ECG almost 200 million without guarantee. Today, they are saying that Miracle beats BXC because Miracle is financially strong and technically strong. But on the panel, they only went into the technical. They never went into the financial. Why? Because they know that Miracle does not have that money to beat BXC. That is it there. Let me read something here to you. Page 5, it says that the major CPs, the CPs are the condition precedents that remained unsatisfied included. They are stated in their own document. This is a document from MIDA. It said the major CPs, the condition precedent that remained unsatisfied included tariffs set in accordance with the PURC rate settings guidelines, list of portfolio power purchase agreement, BSA payment security, lease payment security, and transfer date movable property price. So all these things were not certified, but they went on to push. What they did here, they bend the rules. This is where they bend the rules to make sure that PDS, which had nothing in their coffers, go in there, go talk to Kelly Kajipo and access that United States taxpayers' money. So they changed condition precedent to condition subsequent. And before I end the show, I am going to tell Ghanaians, I'm going to show you at the board meeting how they managed. Yes, at the board meeting, I'm going to show you how they managed to brush away that, even though they knew that they had bent the rules there. This is the summary of the 23rd meeting of the Board of Directors of the Millennium Development Authority, MEDA. This meeting was held on 7th of March, 2019. There's something interesting here, and I'm going to explain to Ghanaians. Before I ask my questions, before I pose the questions to MEDA and to Gabby and his friends. Now, the fourth section, page 2, it says the CEO expressed gratitude. This is after the whole thing has been done. The party has been done overnight and they are meeting to congratulate themselves. This is what the CEO said. He said, the CEO expressed gratitude to His Excellency the Vice President, the Minister for Finance, the COO, and all stakeholders for their hard work and tireless efforts to ensure that transfer of the assets and operations of ECG to PDS on 1st March 2019 was done peacefully. Now, he thereafter informed, listen to this, my fellow Ghanaians, the CEO of MEDA thereafter informed the board that there were a number of condition precedents which were converted to condition subsequent, which must be completed within 6 months from the transfer date. So this they brushed away. This was in the board meeting. And why did they brush this away? Because they know when they go into it, the whole thing is fraud. From A to B, from ROI all the way to RFQ, RFP, and all the way to the board meeting is fraud. This is what we are dealing with, my fellow Ghanaians. This is it. But don't forget that in all that I've read to you, you've not heard anything from Eneja SA. Eneja SA is a very, very, very vital component of this whole scandal. You've not heard anything about them. But the funny thing is, at the end of the day, they were making a lot of decisions and they got a lot from this. 19%. Somebody living somewhere is getting 19% from our money, and we don't even know anything about that company. Their track record, their financial muscle, their technical, nothing about Eneja. By the end of the day, you saw what happens. Eneja was there. I've been reading all this document all this while. We've not had a single letter or a single name of Eneja in this document. But they've refused to tell us. They've refused to tell us, my fellow Ghanaians, this contract must be cancelled by the American government. This whole thing is fraud. It's a family and friends from Ken Ofori-Atta to Gabby Otchere-Darko to Bamti, the president's only brother, to Philip Ayensu, to Mesa, to everybody, and all the way up to the president, Akufo-Addo. He made sure that this worked to his favor. He made sure that Sickens, his brother, his friends, he made sure that Chum, Sickens' cousin, he made sure that people who were connected to him benefited from hard sweat of Ghanaians. My fellow Ghanaians, I am not here to intimidate anybody or to persecute anyone. I am here doing my civil duty. I'm making sure that the truth is sent to my people in the right way. Now I'm going to ask MEDA some questions, and also I will take the opportunity today to ask Gabby Otchere-Darko some very, very important questions, because in my next expose, I'll be telling Ghanaians what Gabby Otchere-Darko and his clique of family members, Ken Ofori-Atta, Bamti, Edward Ekufu, and the president himself are hiding from we, the people of Ghana. Now, my question to MEDA, as they've stated in their own statement, that people have to ask questions and then with facts. So from their own statement, I'm going to ask them questions. Now, my first question to MEDA is, when or what date was the board meeting held, and can the board chairman explain the basis of the decision taken at the meeting to change the condition precedent to conditions subsequent, and to whose benefit? This is a simple question. Now, the second question is, how much did PDS shareholders pay for the shares of ECG as at 1st March 2019, when the control of the company was handed over to them, meaning to PDS? My third question is, was there a legal opinion certifying that PDS had met all the conditions? Was there a legal opinion certifying that PDS had met all the conditions? My next question is, can a copy of the legal opinion be made public to we the Ghanaian people, if there's any? Which law firm actually prepared the opinion, if there's even any law firm that prepared the opinion? It's simple. Can the copy of the legal opinion be made public to Ghanaians? Now, finally, I would like MEDA boss to also explain this accusation. You know, these private guys, they were part of the serious discussions that took place. But this is the statement they are making. I would like MEDA to respond to ASAP, Coed, and all those people. I would like MEDA boss to explain this to Ghanaians if they say that they did everything right. My fellow Ghanaians, my final question is simple. Very, very simple. Where did Eneja SA come from? Who is behind Eneja SA? We would like to know. How much money did they bring to this deal? We would like to know. What are their qualifications? What is their track record? Eneja SA, from the beginning to the end. I've read all the documents here. We never heard of Eneja SA being part of the process from day one, from the ROI to the RFQ to the RSP. Eneja SA was not in there. We would like to know where they came from. Why were we giving them 19% whilst we don't know these people where they come from? Who is the person behind Eneja SA? As it stands now, we are paying money to somebody we don't know, sitting somewhere and enjoying 19%. 19% of our money. Big money. My fellow Ghanaians, these are simple questions that MEDA and all these people involved have to answer. Now, before I leave, I have one last question. There's one individual who is involved in all this scandal from the beginning. He's pulling strings from behind. That individual is an ex-convict. He was jailed in New Jersey. That individual is part of it. I would like MEDA and Ken Ofori-Atta and all these people on board to tell us who this individual is, because we have documents. My fellow Ghanaians, documents. This issue is not going anywhere. This ex-convict was jailed in New Jersey. New Jersey. He's an ex-convict and he's in here. The government of the United States of America will have all these documents. I'll give them all the details. And at this point, I'd like to tell my fellow Ghanaians, focus. Let's chase the last cent. Let's not be distracted by these junkies on radio and on TV. Let us keep our heads up. Let's focus on the last cent. Chase the money. That is where we're going. My fellow Ghanaians, my name is Kevin Ekobedu Taylor, and this show is not going anywhere. This is the Friday Editorial.